Okay, guys, let's do something a little bit different from usual. Somebody sent this to me a little while ago. I guess not that long ago. It's a 2-week-old video. It's from a smaller creator called Kalos Baku. I don't get it. You know, I can't pronounce ethnic names very well. But it's called You Don't Care About Small Creators. And I'm kind of curious about it. I think it's going to be a smaller creator venting their frustration of trying to be a creator. I get it, and maybe there's a little advice I could throw out there as a successful content creator. I don't say that to like brag or anything. And some people will be like, "Oh, how are you successful? You don't have a lot of followers." Like I have like 54,000 on YouTube, 107 on Instagram, and I think like 640,000 on TikTok. We're in like a time where you don't have to be a huge content creator to be very successful. You know, at least financially. I mean, you could do very well for yourself. The tools are out there more than ever, and you know, you'd be surprised that I do pretty decently. I've been consistent for like 3 or 4 years now. I guess we're coming. Yeah, we're at 4. Yeah, the end of 2020 is when I quit my real job. Like, so 4 years, and I've been consistently bringing home a sustainable income. So I'd consider that decently successful. So yeah, let's get this going, man. Let's do it, baby.
About 30 seconds in, and only 29% of people that clicked on the video are still watching. And by
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes, friend. Thank you for the $2 from Gelato GG. Hi, Papa. It was my GF and I's 3 years this weekend. Hey, congratulations, brother. Fantastic.
a minute and a half, only 17% remain. You want to know how many people actually watched the entire fucking video? 5%.
Hey, it's more than nothing, I guess. I mean, I guess I've been there before. I just looked at my analytics before that. They're obviously like a little better than that, but I mean, yeah, man, it just is what it is. Sometimes I don't know if this, you know, sometimes you just don't do that well. It's failure's feedback. It's the best way to interact with it as a creator.
We live in a day and age where people are about as lazy as they have ever been.
That is true. Technology affords us the ability to be lazy. I mean, that's why people are as lazy as they are. I'm lazy, right? Now, I have the capacity to not be lazy, but I don't have a real job anymore. If I had to work, I would work, man. But I'm fortunate. Like, that's the thing, you know what I mean? So I used to work, and you know, nobody likes working. It's cooler to not have to do much. But, like, yeah.
You could call it ADHD, which isn't even the right fucking term, by the way. If you have, like, a lessened patience with content because of short-form content, that's ADD, because there's no fucking hyperactivity.
I don't think ADD exists, but I will say that with content creation, or with the way that we consume content, it's probably going to mimic signs of different mental health issues, I guess you call them. Like, I have legitimate ADHD. But I'd say like things like, you know, people becoming more antisocial, having lower attention spans. These are things that are associated with different like disorders and whatnot. But nowadays, those are things that are associated with just consuming content a lot and not necessarily interacting with people in the real world. So,
activity. Now, I'm probably going to make a video in the future discussing the other 2 main aspects of the 3 biggest reasons why doing anything on YouTube sucks anymore unless you've already made it. But I have to say,
I disagree with that. I just think that like this is a different time now. You have to you're probably never going to make it on YouTube through YouTube, if that makes sense. Like, you need people to engage with your content elsewhere to come to your YouTube, especially to start off. That's really your biggest thing. Like, it's really not just about making content on YouTube anymore. It's about making content on other platforms to plug your YouTube. So
the biggest and most overlooked is that you, the viewer, are making things worse. And you
wait, what? Come on. Nah, man, it's just the market. It's different. Why can't blame the viewer for that.
might not even know it. And I don't blame you for not knowing it, because there have been a great deal of everything ever trying to keep it hidden from you, or trying to get it to where you don't care, or playing on the...
Hey, thank you so much for the $25 from Too Fast For You, Fatgum Gaming TM. Okay, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
The fact that you're more inclined to sit back and not care. While you may hear a lot of YouTubers complain about the algorithm because...
Well, I don't necessarily think you should care about the success or not success of a YouTube creator. It's a very privileged job. It has its own like issues that other jobs may not have, but overall, it's a little bit better. Just like slightly better than a real job. No, it's generally better. You know, a big part of it is like the aspect that you get to be your own boss, but there's a lot of aspects to it to make it better. I mean, like, it's pretty cool. So
the algorithm is a nightmare. It's atrocious. One of the biggest determining factors of the algorithm is the audience. Now, I want
Yes.
to put this out here right now.
Okay.
If you don't watch my video...
Yeah, I find that interesting. People will be like, "Oh, the algorithm's not favoring me." It's like, it's probably you. You know, you're probably like, I had like the last couple of weeks on TikTok actually been pretty terrible for me, and I was like, "What's going on? Am I suppressed? Am I this? Am I that?" And there might be some stuff was a little risque, but at the end of the day, my views were low on TikTok and Instagram. So I was like, you know, for my shorts content, like, what's going on here? So I sat down and I just looked at all my back catalog, because I have a big back catalog of content to post, because my content strategy is like I post 3 videos a day. And I was like, you know what? Some of this stuff sucks. So I just like, I organized it into folders of like, this is decent to post and this is not decent to post. This is like, I have back catalog in case I go on a vacation. And then yesterday I had like one of the best days I've had in a long time. So clearly, clearly I just have to be a little more intelligent about what I'm posting. It's like, yeah, chances are it's like what you're posting isn't necessarily resonating with people, but you also have to understand that there are going to be times where you're just not hitting for no reason. Sometimes like people just not, you're not the flavor, you know, and that's why I took like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to really make any significant changes, because sometimes it's just is what it is. You know, that you gotta find the line between what can you do to control it and change versus, you know, you probably shouldn't, maybe you shouldn't change and you just need to keep pushing forward, you know.
Videos, unsubscribe. If you do not watch the content I make because you like seeing content made from me, and you don't comment down below or engage with the video and actually want to be a part of this channel and community, then fuck off. Okay, that's a bit rude, but like...
It is a little rude.
Actually unsubscribe, because the lighting changing is going to bug me. Because if you stay subscribed, and you see my video and you recommend it next time I upload, and you don't click on it, or you click on it for like 3 seconds and then click off because you're just disinterested. If you subscribed for the FNAF content, you can unsubscribe. Because the way YouTube works is that when they determine...
What, did this person change their content from FNAF content to something else? What's the new content then? I'm not understanding. I'm just taking a look at it. Mr. Beast. Okay. I'm going edgy. The real answer. This kind of looks to me... Well, they looks like they were doing pretty successful FNAF stuff for a while. It kind of just looks like they're still... Oh, I'm dying. They're still trying to explore themselves as a creator and figure out what exactly it is that they want to do, and they haven't quite gotten down to that yet, which is definitely going to lead to frustration.
And whether or not your video is able to be put out there and pushed, they usually go off your subscribers first. And when my subscribers don't click on my video or don't watch the video, YouTube thinks that I'm full of shit.
I guess.
That tells YouTube that I make bad content and shouldn't be pushed. Not to mention...
You know, here's the thing, because I haven't seen their content, but maybe your content is bad. And I'm not saying that it definitely is. You know, it could be, though. You know, and it's funny for me to say, because obviously I do very low effort content. I'm literally doing, like, you know, reactions to other people's stuff, especially while I play video games. I'm just very fortunate that people enjoy looking at my content for, like, a various amount of reasons. You know, people from when I was younger was like, you know, you have a good radio voice. And then they said, I also have a good face for radio. I was like, wow, that's cool. Thanks, man. So I'm very fortunate that my skill set, which is, I guess, being able to talk and communicate myself and, you know, be somewhat relatable to some people. I mean, I'm just fortunate that this right now is something that's making decent money. You know what I mean? It's literally just luck, I think, a big part of it. But maybe your content's, you know, not resonating with people in some capacity, or maybe you just have to reach out and get a new audience, and that's not going to be done on TikTok. I mean, excuse me, that is going to be done on TikTok. It's not going to be done on YouTube. YouTube is not very good when you don't have the ball rolling already. TikTok is great when you don't have the ball rolling. Like, you can get a pretty viral video on there, not necessarily easily, but much more easily than YouTube. And so you kind of have to go through there and try to channel viewers onto this platform to get your ball rolling.
The fact that they then source it further to random people, and depending on the type of people that my videos get sent to who aren't subscribed, that could make or break it. And that's just random chance at that point. But the average YouTube viewer is so much less forgiving than ever before. The video is titled the way it is.
Well, sure, it's because there's other competitors. People are consuming content differently now. They consume short form content a lot, and that's really not on YouTube anymore. It is, but it's not necessarily, not in the same way. It's coming back a little bit, but it's never going to overshadow. It's never going to overshadow specifically TikTok, unless TikTok gets banned or something. So again, you know, you kind of have to capture that market a little bit.
Because, in truth, you probably don't care about small creators. And
Probably
I know
not.
Everybody likes to say that they, you know, hope and root for the small guy, the little guy.
I don't say that. I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole, you know what I mean? I'm just chilling.
The fun...
I mostly watch, like, really brain rot memes on TikTok. Only time I really watch long form content on YouTube is when I'm doing this. Or if I'm, like, you know, maybe like angry video game nerd or something, you know.
fun little small channel that's trying to do its own thing and whatnot. But end of the day, you've been so conditioned to YouTube being this place to just get whatever you want at your leisure.
Yeah, well, that's the point, right? I mean, we're making content for people, so that's kind of what the goal is. Yeah, that's the consumer's market aspect of it.
That you're no longer willing to give other people as much of courtesy.
That's definitely true. I'm much more likely to watch somebody who I know than I don't know. That's just how things work. It's like the reality. Somebody who his content maybe even sucks, I'm more likely to watch them if I know who they are than somebody who might make great content. Because chances are, if I go watch the guy whose content kind of sucks or maybe it's fallen off after a while, I know that I can still expect a level of consistency from them. Whereas, like, I could go through 100 new content creators on YouTube and 99 of them are going to suck balls. So there's a familiarity argument. There's an argument of familiarity. Sorry, I just want to mute that. There's an argument of like general consistency. Like, yeah, that's what it is. Again, that's why you got to try to break through. That's a struggle. And the good thing is you've identified that struggle. So now you have to figure out a way around it. It's generally going to be TikTok. You can get people to buy into you for 10 seconds easier than you can get people to buy into you for, a longer period of time, at least initially. And then if they're like, oh, I kind of like this person, they might be more willing to click on your stuff.
It's no longer a website predominantly held with the interest of seeing creativity. It is now a website held with the interest of staying in your lane because that's what you're comfortable with.
I don't think much has really changed, honestly. I don't think I see people do stuff like this is like the nostalgia thing a lot, where it's like, oh, this used to be a great app. It probably wasn't really that great. Things were much more hectic and chaotic. The apps become, YouTube's become more mainstream, and so people have figured out the better way to kind of interact with it and better content strategies, which again is like very important to develop a content strategy. And so yeah, there might be some level of, I don't know what you mean by non-creativity. I don't know, man. I mean, there's still people who are doing creative stuff. It's just different now, and the market's more competitive, and there's more people on other platforms. So I think that this is a very is the word nihilistic good here? A nihilistic view of the app. It's very doomerish, it's a little bit, it reads a little bit as like, a little victim-y. And I get it, because it's frustrating for this person. I mean, even like I've been in spots where it's like, damn, like I'm feeling really frustrated and I don't know what, I'm trying to figure it out. I feel like I can't figure it out, but
people don't want to explore anymore. They don't want to find new content.
I don't think anybody's ever necessarily wanted to explore. I think this is pretty consistent human behavior.
Or see new creators or see new things because they're content with the stuff that they have. Okay. I bet you have a long list of accounts that you're subscribed to, a bunch of channels that you're subscribed to that you don't even fucking watch anymore. Unsubscribe from them. Because it gets to the point as well that you being a subscriber and not watching the videos means that other people who are subscribed and do want to watch the videos don't get it in their recommended feed because you didn't watch it.
I don't think that that's true. It could be. If you consistently are following somebody and you don't watch their content, they will stop recommending it to you. I think, maybe. If somebody likes you enough, they'll put you on like their, poop wiener or whatever it's called, the alert bell and all that. This sounds like this person seems to think that the majority of the people who aren't interacting with their content is because there are dead followers on their page. That's definitely a factor, probably for everybody. But at the end of the day, like this issue is something that like it's probably more in your control than you think. It probably has to do with the content not resonating with people, whether it's not good or it is good and people just aren't seeing it. And like, how do you get people to look at it if they're, if it's good, but they're not seeing it? How do you got to go through an alternative platform, a shorts form platform.
You, the viewer, have the most...
And there is a lot more competition. That's probably like a big part. Like there's a lot of competition. Just in general, there's like so much. This is the way people are consuming stuff. There is YouTube, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, which kind of is Instagram. There's Netflix, there's Hulu, there's Disney Plus. These are all media forms. We're all competing for people's attention. Everybody. This is like the most desired, career path because it makes money and it's easy. It's the easiest thing ever,
Most initiative in any given circumstance, and the fact that viewers anymore are completely apathetically lazy it makes YouTube a nightmare for creators, especially with the attention deficit that's going on. By allowing yourself,
it's so funny because there is definitely a way people are engaging with content. Their attention has definitely shifted. What's so funny though is that, like, again, on TikTok, You know, my video, I've had videos that I put on TikTok with legitimately 30-minute long videos that have done 200,000 views. And so for me, I don't know if it's probably a mixture between like algorithm, maybe luck or whatever. People are willing to engage longer with me on a platform where you're typically not supposed to really engage people outside of like 30 seconds. Part of that is because TikTok is pushing longer form platform on there, longer form comparatively, of course. But I've been able to do it successfully. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you can, to some degree, condition people to have different thoughts, feelings, and or not thoughts, perspectives. I mean, you can, but you can condition people to have different levels of attention span on your content. You know,
to get your mind rotted by the short form content, the funny little autopilot. Let it.
And sometimes it's really just about creating a lot of content that you're proud of, even if it doesn't do well, and then hitting. Because like, you don't necessarily want to hit when you only have this person. Again, I'm not trying to be. This person seems to not really know what they want to do with content. And the reason I say that is because they said, unfollow me if you don't like my FNAF stuff, which means they don't seem like they know what they want to do. Which, you know, you got to figure it out. But, like, you don't really want people viewing your content right now. Only because if you have, say you have 10 videos on your page, and 8 of them are FNAF videos, and the most 2 recent ones are, like, your new stuff that you want people to engage with. If somebody looks at your content now, they're going to see the FNAF videos, and they're going to think that that's your main content. And they're going to follow for that instead of following for like what your actual content is. You know, whatever it is that you want to make now. And so like part of as a creator is you want to have a back catalog of stuff that is relevant or it's similar to what you're doing now for people to engage in once they look at you. Because if they look at your content, you typically make 10-minute long videos and they want to like, you know, splurge you. Is that the right word? They want to binge you. You want them to be able to watch you for like an hour, of stuff that is relevant to your current stuff. So you want to generate that catalog, that back catalog of your new content for them to engage in before you really get a big pop.
Entertain your brain for you so you don't have to do anything. So you can just sit there and burn.
Hey, thank you so much for the 2-month small gut from Meet the Deli. Papa gut time during my night shift. Thanks, Papa. Damn, night shift? That's brutal, brother. Or sister. But hey, God bless. Hopefully it's easy.
Hours, it becomes incredibly harmful for everyone in the relative sphere. It becomes harmful for you because you probably have stopped enjoying a lot of the things that you used to. You probably don't do the same.
Maybe they do. I mean, I think that's a generalization. But
things that you used to anymore because you probably ran out of patience for it because you just sit there and feel instantly bored. You stop having fun with it. That's because of the short form content. I'm not saying this as just some fear-mongering conspiracy theorist. This is something that I have proven in my personal life.
No, that's anecdotal, but it sounds like listen, I don't know. The way I try to operate in life is I try to put as much assignment of blame onto myself than other things and other people. An acknowledgement that things are shifting into a short form content sphere is definitely true. But the idea, the subtextual argument here is that this person would be doing well if it wasn't for short form content. And I don't think that that's necessarily true. This concept that you would be really hitting and really resonating with people if only short form content wasn't here, I think is an easy out. Because what you're doing there is you're saying, I would be doing better if this was different. And you can't control that if. You can't remove the short form market. So you're taking the control out of your hands and you're basically deciding that you can't do anything to make your content better, more or more, not even better, but just more engaged with. Whereas if you were like, okay, the market's different, I have to figure out a way to capture that market in a way that works for me. Then then all of a sudden you're thinking with your noodle. Now you could say like, okay, I want to make 10-minute long videos. You want to know what? I'm just going to post those on TikTok and YouTube, which you absolutely can do. It's 100% you can do that. You just have to format them for YouTube. You know, maybe I'll put them on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and I'll try to make money on my videos about Minecraft. This is a 2-minute long video. A lot of these videos are very short. I don't know what their typical content is, because some of them are really short, some of them are really long. This is also problematic. You have such a massive diversity in content. People are not going to like this. Like, this isn't consistent between itself. And a lot of your content seems to be complaining about how YouTube sucks. I mean, this is YouTube's working against us. You don't care about small creators. YouTube is boring. YouTube is deleting these channels. It sounds like your content has shifted from making something, which like it used to be FNAF content that people enjoyed, to complaining about how YouTube sucks now. Why I was gone, why I'm back. You know, there's a fundamental lack of consistency. And like the number one thing that this person needs to do is come up with a solid content strategy more than anything else.
I've had somebody tell me that they've lost interest in a lot of their passions. I take their phone, I show it to them, and I say, uninstall this. And I point to TikTok. I tell them to uninstall TikTok, they do it, and I just said to them, you know, you only have to for like a week. You can have it back, but I just want to see if having it gone for just a week will change anything. And
would you just think your friend?
But only days, they reported that they've picked up their interests a lot more.
Maybe, but people aren't going to just mass uninstall TikTok. So again, it's something you're going to have to deal with.
Because when you make it to where the funny TikTok is what you go to when you're bored, you end up with situations where there's nothing good to watch on YouTube. There's nothing good to do gaming-wise. You don't have the patience to deal with most things gaming-wise. You don't have the passion for most things that you usually do. Because your brain runs on dopamine when it comes to that sort of stuff. And if the things can't give the dopamine that your brain's now used to, then it just doesn't fucking work anymore. You are destroying your own entertainment experience all across the board. And it's so easy.
What you need to do is you need to take your content, you need to put Subway servers next to it. That's what you need to do.
Easy to fix, but you probably don't want to. And you know why? Because we're all creatures of habit. Well, I could fix it, but I don't wanna. I'm too lazy. You know what that sounds like? A whole lot of bitching. A whole lot of excuses.
I think that this moment right there is probably the most ironic point of this video. Because I would say that that's what you're doing right now. You're kind of bitching and you're kind of moaning instead of fixing the problem that you can control. We all live in an atmosphere, and in our atmosphere, there are some things we can control and some things we can't control. And we're the masters of what we can control, and we're really the slaves of what we can't control. You need to just take hold of what you can control and try to change that. Now, you could also not do that, and you could just fail. But I think that like you can shift, you can make like a meaningful change of, like, you know what I mean? You can legitimately make a meaningful change and be a better creator. It's hard to get resources out there, and maybe a little later I'll go into like a whole, maybe at like the end of this segment I'll go into like a whole thing about you know, a solid content strategy, you know, thing. But you know, you kind of have to try to figure that out first.
And I'm not gonna sit here and treat you nicely for it, because that's making my job harder. Or that's not even my job. At this point, it might not ever be my job. You know why?
True.
Don't folks like you aren't letting me. aren't letting me cook. You ain't letting me cook.
So that's one of the problems here, you know, is that like you seem to feel a little bit entitled. And again, this is the problem, right? Like this person seems to feel a bit entitled to be successful. No one's entitled to success, you know what I mean? And again, there's some people who are lucky and less lucky in this and that and the other thing. And like, I'm a very fortunate person. I understand that, but I'm not entitled to success. And one of the things I really try to get into my head is like, you know what? One day I might have to go get a real adult job. And if I do, it is what it is, man. That's just life. You kind of have to get that into your brain a little bit, that you're not entitled to success. And then it's not the viewer's fault that they don't want to engage with your content. It's your fault for not making content that resonates with them. And like, how can you do that? What's the way that you can make content like that? That's your, you know, because people are going to be turned off by like that entitlement complex. They're gonna be like, oh, this person feels entitled to being a successful content creator, and it's like, again, this is like the easiest job in the fucking world, man. So you know, when people what people are hearing is, oh, you feel entitled to an easy job. That people are going to struggle with that. They're truly going to struggle with wanting to engage with you. They're going to think that you're kind of like a baby. You know, and I don't mean to say that and be rude about it. I'm just saying that that's how people are going to interpret some of this.
I don't know what the fuck that was. It gets so just agitating when all you want to do, you just make some videos, get an audience. I don't even care if this is made into a career or not.
Well, you obviously do care. That's the whole point of this video. This entire video is you venting frustrations because you want to make this your career.
I hope. I would hope that would be the dream. But like, all I want is just a community that will interact with me, and all I have is 700 subscribers, and most of them are fucking dead. If I had 700 subscribers that actually subscribe to this channel to watch the content and keep up with the community, I would have 700 comments per every video. But
well, no, you wouldn't. Most people, that's not really how it works. All right, there's a lot going on here. The first thing is there's a lot of this. I know it comes from a point of frustration. A lot of this is like reads as like entitlement, though. If you have 700 people watching your content, you're not going to expect them to actually interact with it in a meaningful way of like liking or anything. I don't like or comment on other people's videos. It's just not how I consume content. So when people don't do it for me, I'm like, yeah, I get it, because I just don't do that. I don't know. I don't necessarily care about doing that. Some people really like doing that, and that's awesome for them, and that's awesome for me too as a creator. But you know, if you get like 100, you get 1,000 views on a video, you might get like 10 comments. I don't know. I mean, like, you're not necessarily, you know, it just is what it is. You can't have that expectation of people that they all 700 views with all 700 likes and 700. It's like, that's too much. That's a little too much, friend. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't have that expectation.
My videos consistently struggle to break 20 unless I make it about a conveniently relevant topic. And my videos
Well, that's part of the game.
end up with 5% of the fucking audience watching all the way through. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little heated here, but it's aggravating. It really is. And if this doesn't apply to you, you're actually somebody that goes out of their way to watch videos of new creators, and you don't just immediately click off the moment that they fail to entertain your obscene standards.
I mean, that's what that's kind of what the content's for, is to be entertaining to people. Like, I almost guarantee this video is probably not necessarily going to resonate with a lot of my content, my followers, which is fine. It's something to talk about, and I'm interested in it, so I'm okay with that. But that's just kind of how it is, you know? Like, some people are just not feeling it. It's not that deep.
This video isn't, you know, directed at you, obviously. I'm not yelling at you if you're not part of the problem, but if you're part of the problem...
I mean, I don't think that they're part of the problem, friend. I think that maybe has a little more to do with you at this point.
Stop treating that as if that's a good thing. The average user... There's a man carrying things skit that accurately summarizes a visual representation of what I'm talking about, where you could find a channel that really just does it old school, does it just like the way that YouTube used to be. And then there'll be people that they say they like older channels, they're just like, man, this video, this YouTuber, it's just, it really harkens back to the way YouTube used to be. And
okay. I don't really know what that means, the way YouTube used to be. Like, I love nostalgia, but, you know, you constantly find the nostalgia trap. Old things aren't necessarily good things. I mean, we learned that with this game I'm playing right now. The absolute classic version of the game was awesome when it came out, and it just doesn't hold up today. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's just not the same. Like, you know what I mean? There's anything that's old, like some that was created in a certain period, is able to capture the needs of that period better. So, like, you know, using World of Warcraft as an example, like, back then, that World of Warcraft was the easiest version of the game of any MMO ever, even though it took you like 300 playtime hours to get to fucking max level. But it was considered the easiest one. Now it's just like kind of an annoying grind, and people are older now. It's more mainstream. People who played video games back in the day were losers. Now we are still losers, but we have jobs and we have other interests and families. And so, like, people don't want to have to play 5 hours a day. They want to be able to come on and play for a half hour to an hour a day and still do stuff, which is possible, right? So there's different aspects. So whatever YouTube might have been back then probably resonated with people that were engaging with it then, but now it is better, whether you want to believe it or not. It's just better. It takes more into account. It reaches a different or a wider range of audiences. It pays creators better. You know, it's better. Thank you so much for the 9-month small gut from Luna Moon with the Stars. Love the channel. Keep it rolling. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for the 15-month King Gut. Jesus Christ, Jack Stu. King Gut. Incredible stuff. How are we doing today, Mr. Gut? Not too bad, man. I'm enjoying myself. We're doing something a little different today, which I enjoy.
Anyways, Mr. Beast. I guess maybe that's not a relevant example anymore.
Uh-oh, Mr. Beast. More like, what are you doing, dude?
I think an accurate way to summarize where the source of my anger comes from is simply the fact that this channel was founded on the ideals and beliefs, and I'm sure I've said this before at some point, of just community first. I just want people who like the content and want to be a part of the community.
Okay. Make a Discord. Do you have a Discord? I don't know. They don't seem to have a Discord. It's a little interesting since you're talking about communities, but okay. Oh, they do it right here. I can't read. Apparently I'm fucking stupid as shit.
But apparently, just you know, making videos with that general intention in mind, but never explicitly stating it, isn't fucking working! So I'm just gonna outright fucking say it. If you don't want to be a part of this channel and community, kindly remove yourself from the premises and have a nice day.
Well, you did say that at the beginning too, so.
It is such an astronomically far cry to even assume that YouTube is remotely community-based anymore. The community on YouTube is kind of dying.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. I think that we live in a time when it comes to content where there probably are more viewers that are less community-oriented than ever. But that's just because those are the people that are consuming. I'm one of those people. I'm one of the people who I don't necessarily, as a consumer, I don't really want to be part of a community. I have no interest in like watching my favorite content creator and like joining the Discord and trying to talk to them. You know, I'm 34 years old. I don't care about that personally. But then there are people in my live stream that like they like that. You know, my live streams are like what, like maybe on average 250 people that watch a day. You know, maybe a little less right now. 200 people who really enjoy me and want to watch me, but then I'll get like, let's say, average of 10,000 views a video, you know, more or less. Right? So what is that? Is that 2%? Yeah, I think so. I don't know math anymore. I used to be really good at it. So let's say that's 2% of people actually are very community driven. That's cool, man. But not everybody is community driven. Like I'm not community driven. I don't really go into the communities of other people that I follow. If you do, that's awesome. That's how you consume, and there's nothing wrong with that. Or maybe you're just like a casual viewer, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Different people have different boundaries that they set on content and different desires for different content. So I would say that like I don't think that people are necessarily changing. I think that there's just the audience, there's more people in the audience. Or maybe there are people that are changing. You know, it's just you have to kind of get, that's just kind of how it is. That's life. And I can understand getting older and wishing that there was more viable and accessible communities for things, but it just is what it is, you know? And I kind of like it. I kind of like, you know, as a creator since 2020, this is the best time for me when it comes to that relationship, because back in 2020 things were crazy and toxic and everybody was yelling at each other and it was intense and it was fun in some ways, but it's like stressful in other ways. And now I could post something maybe a little edgy and a little frustrating, maybe people don't necessarily like it too much, and it's not as intense. The backlash isn't as annoying. It's a little more proportionate. People will be like, hey, I don't like this, but it won't turn into, you know, flavor of the fucking week or flavor of the month commentary. You know? And part of the way you generate an atmosphere, though, is like you can't feel entitled to that. If you want an atmosphere of people that want to engage with you, you need to consistently post content. But if most of your content is I hate YouTube, that's not really going to generate a close audience, and you don't want that to generate a close audience. If most of your followers are like, I fucking hate YouTube, why the fuck are you watching? Like, it's just weird. YouTube, I like YouTube. I generally think it's a solid platform. It pays the best out of any platform. It's the most supportive for creators. I've seen them implement things that are a little bit better and better for creators. When they demonetize your video, they'll give you timestamps now of like what happened in the video even before you release it, so you can actually make changes there. You can now take a test whenever you get to do a community guidelines violation, so that the violation will go away in 3 months, so that you don't have to have a warning on it anymore. They can be a little frustrating when it comes to putting in appeals, but if you go on Twitter and you at them on Twitter, they will take a closer look at your appeals. It's better than I've ever had with TikTok or Instagram. This is the best, most consistent, like solid platform. And again, like once you're established, things are obviously better. But like, as a little more of an established, smaller creator, like this is the best fucking. This is better than anything else, man. You know, so.
And that's because the average viewer no longer actually wants to be on YouTube because of the creator sphere. They want to be on YouTube so that way 10 different people can talk about the same topic over and over again because they give into their hyperfixations.
Well, that's how I feel like it's always been. But most people on YouTube now like want to watch longer-ish form content while they do homework and play video games.
And never really branch out with anything outside of that. It becomes really, really demeaning when your topic-based content gets completely, like, valued and favored monolithically compared to your original content skits or sketches.
That's a problem with your channel, though. If you want to do skits and sketches, you need to start doing skits and sketches more. But if you start shifting between two different bits of content on your platform, you're going to take a hit. That you're not going to do well. You know? If this is...
Today, I'm going to be beating Minecraft without anything.
If this is the content you want to produce, this is not going to do particularly well on YouTube. You still post this. But like, this is your content, this 2-minute long video, people have largely left the platform that are watching 2-minute long videos. This is not your main platform anymore. Post it on here, but you need to start posting this on TikTok. You know, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I have a smaller YouTube channel. It's the Papa Gut Clips channel. Let me just give you an example. It's just stuff from TikTok that I've been posting on my YouTube. I don't even know if I could find the channel. That's how buried it is. I'll have to go to... Let's go to this video. All right. Shut up, Kai Sinat. Is it even on here? I don't think it's in this. My more recent video will have it. I just want to show you, like, guys. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're so annoying. So annoying. Here's my clips channel. Okay, right? Got 6 views from a video I posted 2 hours ago. That's not very good. All right, I'm gonna go to my TikTok. All right, here's the video I posted 2 hours
People
ago.
don't need to.
It's got about 4,000 views, right? This video has 30 views from 23 hours ago, right? You see that right there? If you look right here, it's got 1.1 million
Let's clean
views,
up
right? People engage differently on different platforms. TikTok is more for short-form content. It's just kind of the way it is, and you need to identify that. You need to kind of identify that, and you need to shift around the current market. So, I know 931 subs now. Look at that. You know, and I'd like this to take off and pick up off the ground, which I think it is. It's starting to get some views again. Like this isn't too bad. Like 800 views. I have low expectations for this channel, so it's not doing too bad. But like as you see, this is definitely the more successful platform. My videos that perform poorly are in the 10,000s of views after a couple of days. The videos that perform poorly here are in 38 views after a day or so. Right? It's just a shift in the content. And you need to adjust to that.
This channel was very much going to be part gaming, part sketches, part doing whatever the fuck else. But because of the fact that now I didn't want to worry about numbers, but now the fucking viewers are worrying about numbers. People who have actual fan bases and actually have a subscriber count or whatever are getting chastised by the actual community that actually, speaks or comments, saying they fell off if they ever just drop in numbers, even though.
That's true. People say you fell off all the time. That shit's funny as fuck. That's just they do it to me too. It is what I just ignore it. That's one of the things you really got to learn too. Is how do you deal with criticism? And sometimes you know how you deal with criticism. You don't. You just ignore it. Because that's not meaningful criticism. Somebody telling you that you fell off is not a meaningful bit of criticism where they're like, oh man, this is helpful. It's mostly them like LOLing at you. So I don't respond to it, but I see other creators that are doing maybe similarly to me. They respond to it and they get it a lot more. I just ignore it because I don't care. Like it is what, I mean, I care. It pisses me off a little bit, but it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like it is what it is. Like there's nothing I can do with it. It's time for me to just move on and not care about it. And it largely works. You know, the more you respond to a particular bit of criticism, the more you're going to get that criticism. It's definitely demoralizing when you get people telling you that you fell off, but you kind of have to learn to ignore it. I know it's like really cliche. Just ignore it, but you kind of have to.
No, that's not even their fault. It's mostly the viewer's fault. Well, okay, it's half the viewer's fault because the other half of the problem is the algorithm. But
the viewer is the algorithm. I think you already acknowledged that. Oh, fuck, I'm getting fucking pooped on.
The fact that you make up half of the problem is still something that you should change. And I know yelling at people to change because it's harmful to everybody is probably not going to do fuck all because of how, like, stacked against anybody who does try to change the odds are. Because YouTube really tries to lock you in your lane now. This is something that the website itself even tries to...
I don't think they try to lock you in your lane. They just want you to engage with their content and make money. That's not that deep, you know? Which
means it's a considered...
Thank you so much for the 20-month small gut from Night Shard. You fell off, to be honest. It is true. I mean, maybe, but I don't know, man. I'm doing the best I've ever done. You know? I'm trying to... And my wife tells me not to go... Don't talk about it too much because I don't want it to come off as bragging. But I'm doing the best I've ever done in a consistent way, which is fantastic. So I'm feeling pretty good, brother.
Effort, and whenever people go to YouTube, they most likely don't want to put in fucking effort, and it's that kind of mentality that also makes it to where short form content and anything that has the ADHD spastic editing and whatnot, the kind of editing that makes someone like me want to rip my...
I mean, I don't do like any editing and people still engage in my content. Again, I'm an older guy and I think that that's what's expected of me too, to some extent. Like it fits my aesthetic. If you see a 34-year-old man that has a ton of editing on their content, you're probably going to look at them like, wow, what a fucking weirdo. So, you know, the age portion of that is very helpful for me, I guess, in this instance. But thank you for $2 from Dimitoriasu. You fell off. Incredible stuff. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
My eyes out anytime I even attempt. It makes it easier to go to those videos because those videos mean you put in minimal effort. You don't have to do any mental work to get the jokes or to even process the fucking words on screen because your eyes and ears are getting the same information at the same time, meaning it's just instant transmission. There's no thinking behind it. You just sit there and quite literally mindlessly take in the content, probably forget it the moment after. Like, I don't believe it's getting this bad, but the fact that the Pyro Live is actually unironically putting Subway Surfers in the video anytime he has to explain something.
Hey, it's smart. Thank you so much for $10 from PP. He definitely fell off. Stop giving me money. P. Okay, you're sitting here. This is my fucking guild leader in my World of Warcraft. You sit here and you give me money. You're like, I can't wait for payday to get fucking WoW gold. Stop giving me money. Stop it. Okay, listen. I hate to be rude, but if you guys are, you know, listen. I always appreciate money. You want to give it to me, but if you're chilling and you got other things that you could spend your money on that's better, just fucking do that. All right, I love you. I'm just saying. What the fuck is this discovered treasure bullshit? Oh, I guess okay.
It's dystopian. Like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and put anything stimulating in the corner. I'm not going to sit here and make the editing.
I guess I am. I mean, I'm playing World of Warcraft. It's something to look at. I don't do it for that. I do it because I think I have fucking attention problems and I can't really get through a video without playing a game. But I'm going to do it.
Being, like, constantly so active that your brain doesn't have to turn on. If you don't want to pay attention to the fucking video, then you can just go away. Just get out of here. There's a button when you see me on your recommended. If you ever see me again, click do not recommend this channel, and then it makes life easier for everyone. Because
I think this is not the play. I don't think crashing out on your audience is the play, man. It's gonna turn other people off, you know?
and you can go and write your stupid ass brain somewhere else, and YouTube's not ever gonna throw me in your circle of YouTube, and then meet the exact same result of you not being entertained because I didn't meet your obscene demands.
I don't think that the demands are obscene. It's just what people want.
I think this is the most
You like the wow in the background? It's something to look at, you know? I think it's kind of cool.
actually angry I've ever gotten on a video.
It's funny because some people occasionally be like, why do you play games in the background? It's so stupid. It's like, you know, I know that you're just like my wife, and you probably watch content while you're watching TV. And you're sitting here pretending like, you know, you don't have 8 different forms of stimulation going at the same time. You know what I mean?
You know, you just,
I
you know, makes me wanna.
they're editing this video. I'm complaining about the editing. It's funny.
So yeah, no.
Okay.
Make no mistake, you probably, most likely, can be doing better, and if you're choosing not to, you're part of the problem, and shame on you.
I am the Jonkler, and I'm part of the problem. Thank you for the $2, Demon Toriasu. I don't mind spending money to say you fell. Okay, thank you.
Actually, if you like this video, if you like me, check out the channel. Check out another video.
I'll
you can
think about
subscribe
it.
if you want, but make sure that the rest of this channel is also something that you'd want to watch. So maybe don't even subscribe on this video, but subscribe on another video after you've watched that.
Well, this seems to be a lot of this person's recent content, so.
That one too. Leave a like if you liked or agree.
And since you keep generating followers off this, because this video got like 100 followers from it, because they said that they were at 700, now they're like 820. You're gonna have you have to work on that too. You're getting a follower that loves hating YouTube, I guess, or feeling bad for creators. You don't necessarily want people who feel bad for you to be your primary content, people engage. But
Leave a dislike if you're a little bitch who doesn't want to change. Leave a comment down below. Please, please leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts, feelings, opinions, anything I may be like misguided on my perception of, whatever.
it.
What you'd like me to talk
All
about
of
next,
it.
any points that you could potentially like give to a following topic, anything like that. Really appreciate it. Put it in the comments down below. Do that, please. Actually, I'm gonna brief pause for the music. Ugh.
all right, I guess there's a music at the end of it, which you don't necessarily need to engage with. You know, it was interesting. I will say that video was more stimulating than some of the stuff I've been engaging with lately. I'm gonna watch their next one. It's called YouTube is Working Against Us. Again, they're caught in this toxic trap, because this is called YouTube's Warning. I'm not gonna watch that. But they're caught in this toxic trap of constantly bitching about YouTube. YouTube is deleting these channels. Like, there's so much of that. I'm gonna watch the next one, which is just called YouTube is Working Against Us. And I guess they're reacting to somebody else's video, the extreme mental stress of being a YouTuber, which is an interesting phraseology. Is that a word? But I'm curious about it. Let's watch that.
4. Let's just have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What is this? Oh, it's them complaining about this. This other person seems to also do the same thing, where they just complain about things.
8, 9.
I mean, I guess I complain about some stuff too. I mean, it's kind of my content, maybe. Does that make sense? Is that me? Did I complain? No.
And then if we count ones that I've seen but have actively not clicked on before, 6, 7, 8.
This is how I'm going to kick off my channel, Papaga. Oh yeah, what are you going to do? Give me money? Is that the way you're going to kick it off?
On to recommendations for just one video alone. The recommended videos, out of like 10 or 11, 8 of them were ones that I have already seen before or have seen but haven't clicked on.
Okay.
Now, yesterday I made a video titled, You Don't Care About Small Creators, which is kind of true.
It is true, 100%. But I also don't think that you have to care about small creators. Like, you know what? I'm not trying to be an asshole. You don't have to care about small creators.
Mixture of the apathy that people have towards the actual creator side of things.
Like, I really don't understand. Why would I care about small creators? Why would you care about small creators more than anything else? Like, I actually do care about small creators because I'm always willing to give advice to people. You know, whether people take my advice or not is on them. I've had content creators before that I've talked to, and like I've offered advice, and they don't take it for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because they don't think I'm successful or whatever, or it's because they just feel like their ego space. I don't know. To the point where my wife's like, you have to just stop asking people if they want something they can advocate for themselves. They're adults. And it's like, that's fair. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just annoying when I mention I can help with advice. Maybe it comes off as condescending. I'm not trying to be, but so I do care about small creators. From like a, hey, like can help you with the content strategy. Which again, I'll probably do this at the end of this video. But like, why would you, as like a consumer, care about a smaller creator? Why are you like, oh, what's the smaller creator? It's a person who's making content and they want your money. Why would you care about that? You know, like. That's what they're looking for.
The unwillingness people have to actually engage in a community. You'd think with
engage. YouTube engage in my balls.
I'd have more than 2 people that I knew from school active in my server.
No, I wouldn't think that at all. Actually, that sounds pretty on par.
And you think that my subreddit would have any amount of interaction, but no, people don't.
What the fuck, subreddit, man? That sounds cringe. I personally, I think Reddit's so cringe.
Don't want to be a part of the community.
Okay.
Which again, I will reiterate, if you are subscribed...
It sounds like you want to do YouTube to make friends, which is cool, I guess. It's just like, that's an interesting goal for a YouTuber, is to make friends.
To this channel and don't watch the content regularly. You don't watch what I output, or at least, you know, give whatever new shit I'm doing a try.
Should I follow this person just to troll them, or...?
A chance. If you don't try to keep up and try to be a part of the community, the door's right there. I just realized I forgot to announce the new video in my server. And I don't even think I should post it on Twitter because...
I deleted my Twitter. I don't even have it. Like, I feel like there's no point. Twitter kind of sucks. Dude, what the fuck? Twitter just kind of sucks, though. I don't know. It just feels like it's just like a lot of racism and aggression, and I'm not feeling it.
Who cares? And in just a day, I've actually gotten some feedback, and I would like to clarify something, because in retrospect, I'm aware it probably could come off as me being a cranky old timer sitting in my chair.
It comes off as a little entitled more than that.
Yelling at kids for not adhering to my ways of doing things, but that's not the case. I don't not want to change, and I'm just being mad at everybody else because the way that I want to do it.
Well, it sounds like this person wants to be a successful creator, and they just don't know how to do it, and they're frustrated and angry at the world for that.
It isn't the way that it can be done. I'm angry because the way that it has to be done, because of the way everybody's doing things, it's just one way. You can only do one thing, and that's to streamline and optimize your content. No.
I don't know what that means. What is streamline and optimize your content? I mean, yes, but like it sounds like you're trying to say something else. You're like, you get to streamline and optimize your content. I don't know what that means though. Like what? Like yes, you want to optimize your content. I mean, I don't. But like, what is that, a hot take? Or when you say when I hear you have to do things one way, I hear that there's a specific style of a video you have to make to be successful. That's not true. You know, you could do it very well, and people like different people. Wow, what a hot take, right? People like different people, and what I mean by that is people are willing to engage with somebody that's a little bit more on their level, I guess. People, I think, like me because it resonates with... I'm a simpler guy. I'm simpler. I don't sensationalize. That's just what I do, and I think people like me for that. And then there's people who like people who do sensationalize, and you know... So, like, there's not really one way. Do you need to have a content strategy? Yes, of course. It's just a job. Like, it's a job. You have to engage with it as a job if you want it to be your job, right? That's not the hottest take in the entire world. But, like, yeah, you have to have a strategy, but it doesn't mean you have to do everything a certain way. Depends on what you mean by that.
No longer can you do creative, like, out there things. You can't. It's really hard to try new things or make things that are wholly original.
It's not.
Because people only want topics. When I subscribe,
you're on YouTube. You stop looking at YouTube stuff, dude. Like, make stuff for content for other platforms. People want originality still. It's just not necessarily here. Fuck.
To a creator, I subscribe to them because I like their personality. I subscribe to them because I want to see more of what they have to offer, no matter what random nonsense they're doing.
I don't think most people like that. I think people may like a creator and also what they're presenting. I don't like that. I don't really want to... When I follow a creator, I'm not really following them for their personality specifically. I'm following them for their personality and what they're talking about. So, like, if I'm following somebody, if I'm like the angry video game nerd, I'm not going to really want to hear political takes from him or drama takes from him. You know what I mean? I'm going to want to hear video game takes from him. It sounds like you're talking, like the content that you're doing where you're complaining about how much YouTube sucks is just getting you an audience of people who want to hear YouTube commentary. Of course. And of course that's what's going to happen. Like, duh, obviously.
Subscribing to someone means that there's someone I'm going to be entertained by. But most people just subscribe because a person does a specific type of video rather than anything else. It's like subscribing to Jacksepticeye exclusively for his Deltarune and Undertale content. It just, no. And
what the fuck are you, I don't... This person sounds like they are in a younger space in their life, what I would consider a less mature space, where they have a different, weirder expectation of it. Like this is a fucking, this is kind of like a job. I look at it like that. I mean, different people want different things. What? This would be like if I started complaining because nobody watched my video game content. It's like, that's not what you're here for. I like it when people do. I'll stream on here sometimes, and you know what I mean? But like, I do that because I find it fun, and I can still talk to some of like the people that want to show up. But I mostly do it for me. It's like a little bit of a break. I could leave the stream up, whatever. But like when the videos don't do well, I don't go, why don't you like everything I do? I'm just like, okay, it just didn't resonate with you. Again, I'm in the headspace of failure is feedback. So it's like, okay, my feedback is you don't love this too much. And I don't feel like generating an actual gaming channel and a gaming audience because it's just too much work. Like, I know that sounds silly, but if I did that, I'd have to double my workload, and like, it would honestly become a lot. It's a lot. It's very easy now, but if I gamed, and then I like consistently played video games and consistently uploaded for gaming channel and a commentary, it would become too much very quickly, and it would just be overwhelming and annoying. And so like, I just don't do that. So sometimes I play games. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And on that, actually, a bit of a good point, because variety channels can't exist anymore because of this like whole demand for streamlining, because the average YouTube viewer is a needy little bitch.
A variety channel can exist. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what is it that you want to do? What does a variety channel mean exactly? Like, there are people who make different types of content. It just has to be similar. I don't know. What?
Also, for brief clarification, I do not think that viewers are the whole of the problem. As I've stated before, they're like half, if not a third of the problem. And this video is going to later attend to the other parts of the problem, or one other part of the problem. I'm doing these one at a time. But the way that I word things makes it sound like that I'm like blaming the average viewer for everything, when in fact I'm not. So
it sounds like you are. I think you are, but you're getting a little backlash for it, so you're trying to adjust.
Just keep that in mind going forward. Let's Play channels and all of that stuff, they don't really do like skits or branch out very often anymore, and
yeah, why would they? Like, that's just not what they make. Okay,
mostly just stick to gameplay because you gotta stick to formula. Even
I don't really see the problem with a channel that does video games not wanting to also do skits. I don't really understand that. Yeah, okay, kind of. What is that an issue for?
creators as large as Jacksepticeye have voiced their opinions, as well as his editor, about why YouTube as a landscape absolutely destroys them mentally. It's like, so it turns you into a machine. It turns you into a content-making machine, and
it's a job. I find it's very interesting. I feel like there's like a generational gap here. I guess, did YouTube used to be fun for you guys? I mean, like, it's I don't know. It's just like, oh, you're telling me that it's work. Like, yeah, okay, some of it's work. It's not that big of a deal. You got to do some work. Like, I don't know. It's like, oh, this used to be fun. Who gives a shit if it used to be fun? I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's work. It's a job. It's an easy job, but it's a job nonetheless. And you need to be like understanding enough to, like, you know, you have to provide your content or a specific type of content to your viewer that they want to see. Like, it's just what it is. Okay.
It ruins your health mentally, especially for someone like me.
It can, but it's still better. You know, it ruins your health mentally too when you don't have a guaranteed paycheck.
Who suffers from actual ADHD and not suffering from doom scrolling on TikTok too much.
Well, I mean, I have ADHD too. I don't like when people say they suffer from something, because I feel like that comes off as like a little victim-y. You know what I mean? Like, I struggled with my ADHD when I was younger pretty substantially. I still don't say I suffer with it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a mental. You know, I'm getting a little almost red pill here. I'm not a red pill guy, but like some of these things are going to be the way that you have. What is your relationship with your issue? Your relationship with your issue seems to be very much, almost victim-y complex. Get the fuck out of that.
Too much actual ADHD, making it to the point to where I can't solely focus on one type of video forever.
You can do that. It's called it's really called like cognitive behavioral therapy. You have to engage in like in some form of like, your own personal behavioral therapy to do that. Like I do this too. Like, I constantly have ideas, impulsive ideas, very impulsive ideas of like what I want to do next. I want to do this. I want to do a gaming channel. I want to do this kind of. I want to do this. I want to do. I don't do it. Right? I try to sit on it for a couple days because I get very impulsive and I understand that behavior from me. And I'm like, oh wait, this was a bad idea. And part of it's because I have my wife to ground me, and I know I talk about my wife all the time, yada yada yada. But that helps me as well. Just having somebody to ground me. I'm a little older, and I have that that opportunity to have somebody to ground me like that. But like, Yeah, I mean, like, that's just kind of how it is. That's how every job is. You know, you can't go and work any job and be like, oh, I want to just do this today. It's like, well, that's not really your fucking job today. Your job is to do this. You know, you don't really get to choose what you want to do.
I have to be a variety channel. Otherwise, I'll lose my mind or I'll just lose interest. You gotta remember that creators aren't just making a channel to give you type of content. They make channels because they want to create things and want to have an audience to create too.
Okay, that's just not how everything works in life, you know?
An audience to express their creativity outward towards. Someone to be entertained by their entertainment. They're people, and it's just like we're not being treated as people anymore, and it's not just the viewers. I know.
Okay, so what? Like, okay, I don't. Okay, we're not being treated as people anymore. Who's we? I don't know. Who gives a shit? I don't know. Who cares if you're like? What does it mean to not get treated like a person? This kind of comes with like a territory, and you almost don't want to be a person. It's like you're kind of like you're an entity. You have like a level of distance, of like a boundary, because you're an entity instead of a person. I think that's not a bad thing.
No, last video was dedicated to complaining and bitching at you guys because it's something that I feel like needs to be solely and dedicatedly bitched at. Because otherwise the message isn't made clear. It gets muddled underneath, oh, well, algorithm, oh, well,
this is warbound.
Whatever.
Woo!
But you really have the initiative here. And my one friend, Lukey, made a comment on the
Who the fuck's Buki?
last video, making a good point about also the drop of water in the ocean mentality. A lot of people uphold the cynical belief that their one input can't change things. But what that mentality
Usually it doesn't, yeah.
fails to acknowledge is the fact that you're not the only person on Earth. And I'm guaranteeing you're not the only person hearing the message of that last video or this video. If you look down underneath the video and see the view count and it's above 1, then guaranteed you're not the only one.
I'm just watching my videos on a loop, dude. What are you talking about?
Sure, it takes a bit of blind faith, but you gotta at least put a little bit of trust in the process if you really want to make a difference by doing something to start that change. Because there are a lot of
It's so funny because a lot of this advice you could really just take for yourself. You know that, right? Like, what the fuck?
creators, ones that even I like
Crit Mastery?
Moist Critical, and sometimes even Saya the Clown, or not Saya Speaks is the channel that I'm talking about, who mostly err on the side of we can't do anything. Which, no, we absolutely can. I think it's underplayed how much the
Thank you for the $2 from Hogsicle. Why weren't you camping with wings and boogie? Okay, because I don't particularly care for them. That's that.
viewer, the average viewer, has like complete say in most things within the entertainment sphere. Or
Are you saying that it's up to the viewers? It's a viewer's responsibility to change everything to make the landscape better? I don't think the landscape's that bad.
just any business in general. As a consumer, you have the final say of what you do and don't buy. And I'll get back to that in a second, but first off, I want to wrap around to the actual point of this video. YouTube itself is constructed in a way that traps you in a bubble. Like I showed as an example at the start of the video, YouTube has a really, really bad habit of giving you the same things that you want to watch over and over again. And the
Why is that a bad habit? YouTube has a bad... what do you mean the same things? You mean the exact same videos or a similar style of videos? Of course. If you're here watching me for commentary on, like, you know, more drama-esque things, that's what you're gonna want to consume from me, generally speaking. Like, no shit.
the only new things they'll
That's why I go to watch Judge Judy, because I want her to yell at people, you know?
show you are things in the same vein. Gone are the days where I'd even dream to see a vlog or a beauty video in my recommended or my homepage. Absolutely nothing outside of my lane, which really sucks. It just makes it so it just makes it annoying to be on YouTube sometimes because I'm looking for a video, and unless I just somehow know what I want to watch and can search it up, if it's outside of my general typical watching, then it won't give it to me. I think this is especially highlighted in the fact that there's a tab dedicated to watching a video again.
Is there? I've never seen that tab before. Some people like to rewatch stuff, I guess. Okay.
My dog! Listen, YouTube. Listen the fuck up. You already have rounded the corners on anything you possibly could.
They're going to implement that stuff like that if they feel like that's what people want to watch. If there's people who like to rewatch stuff, and some people do, then of course they're going to implement a rewatch tab. Why wouldn't they do that? I could take a 9. I'm going to try a 9.
You've already made light mode absolutely god-awful. You've already made the color of the website completely reduced to next to nothing. That red accent's hardly ever fucking used. And you've already made it to where ads play an obnoxious amount of times. There is no need for you to make things more monotonous. I swear to God. If there's one thing that's absolutely killing everything in the tech sphere, it's the monotony, the need to conform and be the same.
What the fuck are you talking about?
If you're stepping out of line, you're stepping out of the line of success, pal. Because everything has to be the same. And the big companies have conditioned consumers to expect the same. If it's different, it's bad. Ugh.
This is like a rant you'd expect to hear on like a rom-com, you know? You understand what I'm saying? I can't even articulate it.
I mean, tell me you haven't noticed every single fucking application or software just leaning a bit more in the side of how Apple operates. The overindulgence in charging more. Like the PlayStation 5. Sony's been absolutely wiping their ass with the entire console market with the PS5 Pro, and the fact that they're also thinking of charging premiums for video games. Like Spider-Man 3, they're thinking of charging it in like payments or subscriptions. Everything's conforming to what works the best.
Whatever.
Because we think we've all got it. Or at least they think they've all got it.
I mean, just fundamentally, it makes sense to look at particular trends and to kind of shift towards the trends of, okay, success. Thank you for the small gut from DMJ. Appreciate that.
Even though, no, it's never outside of the realm of reality to experiment and try something different. Staying safe and conformative really is just bad business. Sure, some people might say, oh, it's good business.
It's generally good business to stay within a particular line while also acknowledging some different, like also taking some risks, right? You always want to do a level of risk taking regardless of what you're doing, even as a content creator. You know, like you could argue that this video is a little bit of like a risk-taking video, you know what I mean? Like it's different from what I usually do. It might do really well, probably not, but if it does, that's feedback. If it does very well, or maybe it won't do very well, and it's not, that's also feedback, you know what I mean? And it's okay. Like I posted like a gaming video on my channel the other day, did very poorly, very extraordinarily so. But that failure is feedback. Now I know like, oh, people don't necessarily like to see that on this channel, and that's okay. That's fine feedback for me to get. Like I'm okay with that. That's life, you know? So you do want to generally be consistent, you know, and stay a little safe while also sometimes taking some risks to see like maybe, so you don't get stale. So see what your audience, if something resonates with your audience. Nothing wrong with that.
Because it assures consistent quality and assurance, but you don't grow.
I'm not speaking specifically of video games. I'm just speaking generally. But
the only way you grow is by doing it more. And if you do it more, it becomes monotonous. Oh, wait. Oh, dang it. Ah, darn. Remember when YouTube
so it becomes less monotonous when you make money doing it. So just letting you know.
Channels had their banners take up the entire top of the screen?
No.
When you clicked on their channel page? Remember when YouTubers were able to have a custom background on their channel page? Yeah, fuck that, am I right?
I mean, I've never heard that. It sounds overly complicated for no reason.
YouTube has an awful habit of feeding to you monotony.
Well, it sounds like YouTube has a habit of simplifying. I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'd like something a little bit simpler, you know, that focuses in the right area. So it's like, oh, we don't have customizable backgrounds anymore, but you do get 55% of the ad revenue on your video. So it's like, oh, I'll take that change. That's a meaningful, important change to me.
And boredom. And it makes it to where you're so mentally just gone that you...
I'm surprised this person's not complaining about how they turned the like count off.
Kind of almost have to go with the overstim content, because otherwise your brain just gets bored anyway. But then comes the question.
Your
okay, Kalos, how do we do anything? Because you've complained about people not being
you probably don't do it either.
willing to do things. You've complained about the systems in place making it incredibly hard to do things. So what's your point? What's the solution? Reddit. And I mean it. Reddit is a big way that you can help out all of this.
You said Reddit? What?
Going to places like r/small creators or anything of the sort.
Reddit? What the fuck? Is this a Reddit plug? What the hell?
Or going off into different areas and browsing subreddits of different types of content. Doing all of this goes...
I don't think... I mean, no, not everybody wants to go to a fucking Reddit to engage with stuff. Reddit?
Just miles in terms of actually like
What the
helping out
Sigma?
people, finding new things, and all of the sort. In fact, originally, Reddit was like the #1 way to grow your YouTube channel. I say originally because, well, I found some really nice channels.
It's, and I guess if that, I don't even know if that ever is true, but it's not anymore, so it's time to change it up. And it's time to go to TikTok to do that.
Some of which I've even made friends with because, you know, small creators, we stick together. From this whole, like, small subreddit. Another thing you can do is just share around like videos of smaller creators, videos of random things, just give people recommendations or
like memes. Is that what you're talking Are you talking about memes?
videos that they could watch if they wanted to. That's another way that you can...
Thank you for the $2 from Hogsicle. Most expected plot twist ever. Yeah, guys, you got to go to my fucking Reddit. That's an interesting bit of advice.
like overcome the system block. There are also a bunch of websites that will just randomly serve you up like a video or something. I think there's websites for like just getting a random video under 1,000 views or under 500 views, or random channels under 1,000 or under...
If you want to do that, guys, be my guest. Why the fuck would people generally want to do that? Most people, like, not for nothing, but most people are trying to engage with stuff. They're not trying to engage with stuff as a chore. Like, it's not, what you're effectively saying is like, guys, please engage with content in a way that makes it like a chore. People don't want to do chores. Why would you go on YouTube to try to find a content creator that's smaller and like go out of your way to see if they're any good? Most people want to come home after a long day of work and be like, hey, like, let me watch something that's good and consistent. that I know will provide like decent entertainment to me. They're not necessarily trying to, you know, get into a new content creator. And that's fair for them to want. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, people, you know what I mean? Like, they got home from a fucking day. Like, why? To expect them to sit there and, like, try to engage a smaller creators that most of them are probably going to suck. There's a reason that they're smaller. For what reason? And I'm not saying that people don't have the capacity. I'm not saying this person doesn't have the potential or the capacity. I'm just saying that most people who make content they suck. They don't, you know, they're unentertaining to a particular sphere. You know, you could even say that about me. I'm a smaller creator. It just is what it is.
Under 500 subscribers. Hell, it could be a fun little roulette. You could find a really funny botch project of a channel, or you could find something that genuinely piques your interest and you want to see grow.
Or it sucks. Balls.
The biggest thing you can do also is, because the algorithm, it makes it harder, but it doesn't stop you. Given the fact that each video that I upload has about like 1,000 or so impressions out of the like 50 views that it actually gets, the biggest thing you can do to help out things and stop the whole
you could try jorking it.
Issue of making it really hard to grow or branch out.
That's a meme, guys. Okay.
Or, you know, do anything original. Is just, if you see a video, it's new, it's like, it's got less views, anything like that, if it's just different, click on it. Click the fuck on that. If it's different and new, you click that shit, so that way YouTube, you can tell YouTube, I want different and new. The more that this happens, the more that it will tell YouTube, and the more that YouTube's algorithm will learn that different and new actually works again.
Yeah, it sounds like a chore for people to engage with content. I don't think most people, I don't think most people are going to want to do that.
Because as of right now, people have conditioned it to thinking that it doesn't. And again, don't subscribe to channels that you're not going to actually consistently watch. Make an active effort to consistently watch creators, because it doesn't...
Yeah, so like you go watch only small creators, you're going to spend an hour finding people that fucking suck, that you're not going to like, and you're going to waste your time.
Not only...
If that creator wants to be seen, they'll go out of their way to try to show you that in a more palatable way, like through shorts form content.
Make it to where, like, the creators and stuff are having a better time, like, being a creator and stuff, but it also brings, like, freshness to your life, because... Well,
hey, thank you for the 99 cents from Seb Ross. I appreciate that. I don't know if you wanted to say a message there.
You're experiencing new things.
One,
and
two,
again,
three, four.
Please stay the fuck away from attention span bait. If somebody's like, you know, spamming bullshit, spamming edits every 5 seconds, I would discourage watching that, because, like, it makes life hell, really.
I'm the Jonkler, baby.
So what's my call to action? Just explore, get out there, use the internet, and actually, like, do shit on it. Interact with a community.
I look at porn.
Join a Discord server. Make some friends.
Most people don't want to do that.
Talk to people.
No.
Stop watching as many shorts or short form content, because otherwise...
Start making short form content. Like it's part of the landscape now.
YouTube's going to just keep thinking that the best way they can make money is by discouraging any and all forms of community interaction. What do you think the dislike button does?
They have shorts because like it's a competitive marketplace with TikTok, and they're trying to compete. I don't think they're doing a great job at it, because TikTok has shifted a little bit, but that's why they have it.
Doesn't work anymore. I'm just saying. Oh, and also do me a favor, and like every time you see like a corporation or a newscaster, like go to the trending tab, and for everything that isn't made by an actual creator, click do not recommend this channel on it, please. If you're subscribed to them, unsubscribe. Go to
Thank you for $5 from, what was that, Love Ray Reborn? If I DM you on Instagram for content advice, would you give some? Maybe. I mean, you could ask me what the advice is, and maybe, I mean, I might put it in this video. I might make like a little bit about it. What is it you specifically wanted advice on? You could say it in the chat.
Streaming service if you want to watch TV. Hopefully this video is a lot more lighthearted, a lot more goofy. Sorry that there's just no
Why am I a
intros
mushroom, man?
or outro. There's been outros, but there's no
I'm a little munchkins, man. Look at this.
intros and stuff. It's just been, I just kind of want to like get these points out there, because I think they're important and should be talked about and should be spread around. Please like, share, subscribe, share the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Don't subscribe if you don't want to see more. And I'm not talking about seeing more of me bitching about shit. I mean, you're gonna see more of that.
Well, that's the thing, is that's all you're really asking for, is more people to watch you bitch. And I think that it you know, people have the right to complain every once in a while, but most people aren't going to want to engage with it. If I decided to make a video complaining about something tomorrow, people would probably be like, okay, and that's fine. But if I started making too much content like that, people would get sick of it and they would want to like not engage with it anymore, because they'd get fucking bored of me. So you kind of have to keep that in mind too.
That I'm planning on making that a dedicated series on this channel. And if you do subscribe, go watch something else on this channel, okay?
You're gonna make a dedicated series of just complaining?
I have like videos that I spent so much time on.
Thank you for the $2.79 Canadian. That's a weird number. From InPain28. What the fuck is this video? All I saw was a baby wailing. Oh, don't be too mean. It sounds like a young person trying to find their way, okay?
Completely flop. If you go give those a look, see what you like on the channel, see if there's more content you like, go right ahead, do that. And do that for like a bunch of channels. Any channels that you want to subscribe to, just
signed a goon.
Like the creator, please. This has been me, Kalos Baku. Leave a like if you like the video or agree. Leave a dislike
Oh, they teleport.
if you like Jake Paul. Yeah, and leave a comment down below
Okay.
telling me your.
It's so interesting because it seems like this person likes commentary content, and then they're complaining about about commentary content. It's like I feel like I have to do this type of content if I want to be successful. It sounds like you're the kind of guy or person, I don't know, that engages in like commentary, and so of course it's you know what I mean. It's like it seems like you're engaging with that primarily, so I guess that's why you feel compelled to make it so much. I don't know.
Your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions. I respond to most, if not every comment. Yes,
don't.
even the silly hate ones. I reply with a little silly goofy. Talk to me. Say things to my face. Give me your opinions on what I've said. I don't script these. Tell me what you'd like me to address next, or in the future. If you want to go the extra
Make content. Stop complaining. Make content.
mile, join the Discord, because there's places where you can just actually suggest videos, video ideas, or video topics. You can talk to me, you can talk to people. And brief
I mean, I have that. People do that shit all the time. I haven't looked at it today yet. Well, I did. I didn't see anything that necessarily resonated with me. A lot of Nick Crowley, which I get it. But I'm too scared. But yeah, again, like I have that audience of people because, like, fortunately, I'd be able to build a large audience. What the fuck? Sorry, I just cummed.
Pause for the music. Once again, friendly reminder that at the end of every video, there's a funny little meme, a little funny. So.
Okay, enough of the music. All right, interesting. All right, listen. After we did that video of that smaller creator complaining, I kind of want to take it as an opportunity to give some like generalized advice on how to be a successful content creator because I hear this all the time. People are always asking for advice and questions and this and that, and they don't really know what to do. And I addressed my credentials at the beginning of the YouTube video. If I put this part on TikTok, sucks to suck, dude. You have to watch the full video. No, but I've been financially viable since the end of 2020. Yeah, the end of 2020. I've had my ups and downs, of course, but I've always been financially viable. I've been able to make it as enough of an income to live on it well, and it's only gone up from here. And part of that is because of all the infrastructure that exists now. And that's with a 50,000 follower YouTube, 600,000 follower TikTok, which is a lot, and like 100,000 follower Instagram. The most financially viable platform I have is TikTok, YouTube. YouTube, I make the most money. It's the most consistent. They give you 55%. TikTok has some of its issues with the way that they monetize. It's not terrible, but there's a soft cap of once you hit that cap every month, you go down substantially. Down to like you make a good amount of money, and then once you hit the soft cap, you go down to 10% of your earnings for the rest of the month. Okay, so here's my generalized advice. Okay, number one, this is silly, but you need to create a content strategy. I know that's very simple and basic, but that's what you're going to learn, the basics, okay? If you want to get some course from somebody that's going to make you pay $50 a month so that they can tell you stupid advice, go ahead, but it's not my advice. Okay, you need a content strategy, and it really is going to depend on what you're going to do. I do commentary. So my content strategy is I have long-form commentary that I do. I go on my streams, and I do video commentary on stuff. I have long-form commentary for my YouTube, and then I'll include short-form commentary that I, properly shape, size, what format, Streamladder, and then I put that on TikTok, YouTube, a different YouTube, and then Instagram. And that's brand awareness / a different form of content. That's what I do. For most people, usually people want to be video game streamers. It's probably easier to go from that perspective, but like this is still generalized advice. The first thing you're going to want to do, let's just do it for video game streamers, because this is like the most, you could figure it out either way, is obviously you need to pick what platform you want to stream on. Well, really, you need to pick on what you want to do. And it's okay to experiment a little bit, but you want to come to a point of consistency that you enjoy and that you can put time and energy and effort into. A lot of people want to be a streamer nowadays in some capacity, video game streamer, that's fine. Me personally, I would say stream on YouTube. It's the best platform to stream, in my opinion. It's better than any other platform. It's much more consistent, and your content stays there forever. Twitch, Kick, whatever else, it's not very consistent. I feel like it goes away after a couple of weeks. You want something where you have a permanent amount of long-form content on there. Streaming wise, it's always going to be YouTube. They pay the best. Well, I don't know how Kick pays. I really don't care, but they pay pretty well. There's less intrusive ads. Like Twitch is terrible. They pay pretty well, ad revenue wise. Your stuff stays up forever, and everybody has a YouTube. And no one's going to find you on Twitch by looking you up on Twitch. Nobody's like, oh my god, I'm scrolling through Twitch and I found this person. Nobody's doing that. If they are, it's very rare. Most people are finding people through TikTok. Right? So obviously TikTok's going to be part of the strategy, which we'll get into at a certain point. So it doesn't matter anymore. Everybody has a YouTube, and you'd be surprised who is willing to engage with your content. Even if you're doing gaming content, there's probably a 40-year-old mom who's going to want to look at your content, even if you're like a 20-year-old dude. All right? they do be lonely. No, but you have a much more wide audience than everybody has a YouTube. So I would always stream on YouTube. If you're going to do dual streaming, I'd say TikTok is your second streaming place, but you do you, but YouTube should be your primary platform because you could it's just better. That's number one. Number two, you have to come up with you want to have a generally consistent stream schedule. I don't. But my main content is my videos that I create, not my stream. My stream is like an additive. So I do the stream and I interact with people, and that like helps create part of the video. But for you, you're probably going to want to be consistent. If you can, it's okay, but you want to be consistent. My rule of thumb, it's so vague how many days you have to stream. 3 to 6 days, from anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. You want to, which sounds like such a wide variety, but you really don't need to stream 40 hours a week. Especially since you're not a streamer. If you're a streamer, you're also your editor, and you have to learn to edit. It's not hard, but you have to learn how to edit. It's just a fact. If you need to do that, but gone are the days where you need to stream 40 hours to be successful. There are legacy streamers who are very successful streaming all day. That's cool for them. That's not how you're gonna pop. You're not gonna pop because somebody randomly found you on Twitch or your live stream. You're gonna pop because you had a lot of funny or interesting videos that were up on TikTok. That's what you have to do. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, even-ish, but TikTok especially. It's really your biggest thing. So you have to be your own editor. So that means if you have 20 hours a week to stream, you're going to want to stream 10 to 15 hours because you're going to have to put some time into editing. It's not super difficult. You'll get different strategies. If you're playing a game, keep in mind funny moments, and then take a look at the timestamp and just write a little note at the side, like, oh, this was funny at 25 minutes and 32 seconds. And then later when you download the stream, you can, see what you want to edit it up into. But you're going to be your own editor. So be consistent. YouTube, be consistent. After that, you have to be your own editor. I already said that. You're going to have to do that. What you do to be your own editor is going to depend. There's short form. There's long form, is a lot there, but let me get into the next part is that you need to have two representations of long form. You have to have a representation of long form content and a representation of short form content. Everybody has to have these, in my opinion. You don't have to, but this is the best way to go, in my opinion. There are people who do really well with just short form, and there's people who do really well with just long form. In my opinion, again, you're a smaller creator. You're going to want to satisfy both of these things. If you're the video game streamer who just streamed for 3 hours in a day, guess what? That's why I want you to stream on YouTube. You just satisfied your long form. So you don't have to freak out and worry about that. Now you need to focus on your short form. It makes it much easier. Is there better ways to do long form? Probably. Let's say you decide you're going to stream 4 days a week for 3 hours a day. That's fun. And you're doing video game playthroughs. Let's say you're playing God of War or something. Maybe you want to make a boss kill your video. But generally, you can just stream the game, make a playlist, part 1 of me playing God of War, yada, yada, yada. That's pretty much what you want to do. For the short form aspect, you have to figure out what's something that's interesting. And short form is very up in the air right now. Short form isn't 15 seconds anymore. Short form can be 5 minutes now because TikTok pushes shorter video or longer videos comparative to their platform. So you really just want to find one representation of that. Some people will sit on the minute mark, and what they'll do is they'll do a minute mark so that they can capture a YouTube Shorts audience by making it under a minute, and they'll put it a little bit over a minute for TikTok because that's how you get paid. You only get paid for TikToks that are over a minute. Instagram is a tertiary platform. You just kind of throw up whatever you had from TikTok onto there. You don't necessarily make content exclusively for that platform, but you can, but it's generally not recommended. It's really more of like, hey, I have leftover content, let me throw it on there. Or you can make a 5-minute video, a 3-minute commentary video. I do both. I do under a minute videos, I do over a minute videos. I just do a little bit of everything. Really, I would just pick one type of it and try to consistently pump out one a day. That's the easiest thing that I can tell you. That's really your best bet, right? And that's really the fundamentals of how you become a content creator. It's really consistency. You want to try to figure out, failure is feedback. When you do very poorly on a particular video or something, don't look at that as a negative. Look at that as a positive. You got a little bit of feedback for it, even if it's not the feedback that you wanted. It's feedback for it. And that's kind of really the very simple aspect of what you can do to be a content creator that is successful. A lot of it you're gonna have to learn yourself. It takes a lot, but that's where you got to go, man. So if there's any questions, I'll take those. But I mean, that's really all I can tell you. There's more, but a lot of it's so specific. There's a way to deal with feedback, negative feedback. I've been criticized a lot, rightfully so. You know, sometimes you have to learn to ignore it and not respond to it, while also taking into consideration and letting it sit with you for a couple days before you say anything. You don't really want to be the person in the comments responding to every "you fell off" comment. It's not really going to be productive for you. But it's okay for you to listen to some of the feedback and be like, okay, how can I change in a productive way? Criticism on the internet is never proportionate. It's always disproportionate. People are always going to be disproportionately rude to you usually. So you have to find the actual criticism inside of the proportionate criticism. And you have to be like, okay, this guy's telling me to take my own life, but maybe I was a little rude. How do you, let me fix that, right? So you want to find that as well. This really is the fundamentals of being a content creator. So, you know. Oh, also, you want to keep in mind that there's always an ebb and flow in your content, okay? If you get a lot of views on a video, that's awesome. That's not consistent. I've had months where I've gotten, I don't even know what my best TikTok month was. Maybe 50 million views was my best TikTok month. It's not consistent. When you have that high, keep in mind that it's going to go down. That's okay. You're hoping that your midline goes up. You know, you have your high, your low, and you come back and around. Don't make really big impulsive decisions and changes just because you're having a bad week. That will just happen. When you start to have a bad second week, then you might want to be like, what's different? I had a bad TikTok couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I wrote a lot of it off to like, okay, it's just the atmosphere. Part of it was because I was a little lazy in what content I was showing. I went through my back catalog of content that I have to push out there because I have like a backlog of content, and I realized some of it was shit and I was pumping out shit. I made it a little better. My views started to go up a little bit, right? You want to have a productive relationship with that. Another thing you want to keep in mind is every view is not a view. Okay, every view is not a good view. Every view, every like, it's not necessarily good. You don't know what the like is for. You don't know what the view is for, right? But you want to figure out what it is or is and is not for. I know it sounds confusing, but there are people who want to be productive content creators, and then there are people who want to just get views. But those people also want to be productive content creators, but they think getting views makes you a content creator. That sounds silly. Not necessarily. If you're a guy who likes to do videos about, I don't know, video games, whatever, and you're making videos how to fucking shuck corn, I don't know, is that the right way to say it? Even if you got 10 million views on the video of you chucking corn, it's probably not going to really translate over particularly well to your video game video, right? So you're going to get more meaningful viewership from a video of you playing a video game than you doing something else. And it sounds very simple, but I see people chasing views very intensely on platforms. They're like, I really want to be a video game streamer, and they make content that's like not even close to that because it gets them views, but it doesn't translate over to their stream or their actual content base. If your content doesn't represent you as a person, you probably don't want to make that content in general. You want to save your energy for making content that's actually going to represent you as a content creator. That's why I do all my stuff. I used to, back in the day, do stuff like on the fly. I'd see a joke, I'd make a joke, haha, funny stuff. Now I only do everything through my stream, so it communicates to you that this is my stream. And chances are, if you're going to look at a TikTok video of mine, there's a higher chance you'll engage in my YouTube video because it's just a longer form of the same thing. Not perfect one-to-one. You know, it's definitely, but you know, you'll more likely, if you see the consistency, you see like, oh, this guy did a short form TikTok reaction, let me go find this on something like that on YouTube. You're higher chance of engaging. Whereas if I did short form, reactions on TikTok, and then I did fucking farm equipment videos on my YouTube, you probably wouldn't necessarily engage with that. So, shucking is the act of dehusking and hairing ears of corn. Well, why would you want to do that? I love eating some corn with a little hair. But yeah, man, that's my general advice. So